and is home to the Métis and many diverse Aboriginal persons. We honor their connection to the land and rivers and respect the importance of the environment to our strength as a community. The first thing, did anyone have anything to discuss about the agenda? I get a mover. Seconder, all in favor? Passed. The next is the minutes. Anything to discuss? If not, can I please get a mover?
Are they attached?
Second.
I think they were attached. Did I not read them?
No, I didn't read them. I don't see them here.
I don't think they're attached. I just realized I didn't read them.
Okay.
I'm like, wait, no, I didn't see the minutes.
Am I just losing it, or wait, is that not usually all in the consent agenda?
We stopped doing the consent agenda. We could revisit that.
Talk to the chair. And chair.
Where's the election of chair bit here that's not on the
The
day's
next
work?
is to be discussed. I talked with the province on it, so we'll chat about it. Okay. In camera.
Okay.
All in favor for the adoption of the minutes?
No, so because they're not there, so we'll have to postpone it to September's meeting.
Okay.
Not put them all on to September.
Okay, kind of fair. Next, we have a new board member.
I don't know, am I
So,
yet? I haven't signed
okay.
anything.
Yeah. So I'll start introduce him and then he can tell them. So because Blair Weston was interviewed and selected by Nelson City Council to be the appointee from the municipality, which under the terms of the board makeup is that we are allowed to appoint a representative from our table to be at the board. And so Blair was a successful candidate in that. And we feel that he's going to bring a lot to the board given his experience and knowledge of the local area, and in particular his work that he does as part of his career with the Indigenous nations of our area. So anyways, Blair, thank you for accepting our vote. And anyways.
Yeah, I've already met Donovan. I don't know what to call people. Like to call you your worshipfulness in this meeting.
No, don't call me the worship. I'm the mayor.
And I had a great meeting with Donovan already, like really good. So thanks. And I'm Blair. And for those of you who don't know me, I've lived here over 20 years. I have two girls that were raised here and that are back here again. I work with Fortis BC. I've worked there for 20 years, over 20 years. I've started in energy efficiency, and then quickly they found out I couldn't do math, so I got promoted to management. Hey, that's how it works. And now I do community and indigenous relations. I'm manager of that for kind of the let's say the Kootenay boundary area, the greater like east and west Kootenay's boundary, and also for everything north of 100 Mile House too. I go there every once in a while. I know. I think I know this community very well from like Barstool to Mayor as well, say, right? And I know the Indigenous communities in the area as well, and I think I want to help bring some of that into the room. I always say I'm trying to work myself out of a job, and I am here very much. I'd like to see myself, I said this in the interview, with a younger person or a person of color sitting where I'm sitting by the time I'm done here. And that's it, excited to be here. I was just the piece in northern Saskatchewan before I moved here, so I've sort of seen behind the door already with how the RCMP work anyway. This was like 25 years ago when I was a kid. And I did apply to be on the board 8 or so years ago, but the province turned me down because the room was already too white and male. And that was awesome. It was good. It was like a totally fine conversation with them and some other people on the board. So I'm glad to be back. Any questions? Move forward.
Well,
And do you all have my phone number and stuff? Like, does that go through?
I'll send it out.
Okay. Like, feel free to ask questions or what if you need to get hold of me for anything.
Perfect. Now some business. Gonna read this out and I think you just say the same words.
Do I just read it?
Does he just read it? Yeah.
Nice, Rich. I, Blair Weston, do solemnly affirm that I will faithfully, honestly, and impartially perform my duties as a member of the Nelson Police Board. I will not accept in proper performance of my duties to close any person, any information obtained in the course of those duties. Oh, I get a copy.
Give it to Shiloh and see what you
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, now you signed something, Blair.
You're in.
Usually there's 3 of us.
Yeah. But
Just
critiquing the layout of the
design.
remote, it's shrinking.
I like it. Yeah, I like it.
I like the sign. So there, no public input or delegation, no business rising from previous meetings. Some information, I think some of you are aware, we had the resignation of both Christina and Marta. I mean, I think those are 2 skill sets that will be hard to replace, which hopefully we can in the near future. There was a reappointment of Karen as director, I think, for a couple more years, 2 more years. Congrats.
Thank you.
I don't think we need to go over the Cabral election guidelines. I think it's,
It's just me and it's already been, and the
Yeah.
province already knows, so.
yeah. So I think we can move on to the chief's report.
Quick question on, did you were able to clear up whether you could come to the September meeting yet? Or?
So it's pretty clear in here that it's as soon as the writ drops. That's what it says in here, yeah. And I plan on declaring like very publicly in August, so. But it's like pretty clear in here that it's like when the writ drops, which is the 2nd of, which is, I think is actually the meeting day, so. So then, yeah, so that answered the question for me.
Yes.
Yeah,
Good. Well, not
I'm running
good.
for council.
I was gonna say, like, I put it together, but yeah.
Yeah.
Are you sure?
I am very sure. I'm running for council. If I
Are
don't-
you very, very
I'm
sure?
very, very sure. Yeah. God, I hope so. I've told a lot of people.
Almost watching.
Now, yeah.
You can't run and be
Yeah.
a board member, is that what?
Because the policy of the government of Cabro is that you cannot be an elected at any level and be on a appointed board of the BC government. That's a rule of the current sitting government. So, so he would have to give up his
So I'm
seat
taking-
because he's a provincial appointee.
so I'm
I still get to
taking
come. I still get to come to the meetings.
Yeah. That's fighting, yeah. Gotcha.
Yeah. So I'm taking, I'm officially taking a leave starting in September. And if I get elected, then I will resign my position. If I don't get elected, then I'll go back in November.
Does the house sit before then? Before the writ drops?
Who knows?
Yeah.
Yeah, my
Sorry.
guess is
I'm
that
a
it might
process
not-
guy, I ask questions.
I know. Well, that's why I was kind of hoping that Katie would be here, and maybe between now and September, we can also ask that question: is to get the order in council so that we have actually people in September. Because I don't know how you do an order in council when the house isn't sitting, and I have a feeling that maybe the house won't sit until after the local government elections. So that could be, and if that's their first item of business when they come back, you might have a board member in November.
And we're actually not 100% sure we even got one of those directors. They were just interviewed, so we don't know for sure.
Yeah.
We're just making
Yeah. Well,
assumption that.
Yeah, so I think there was 3, was it not 3 that were happy? Yeah.
2 stood out.
Right. I'll probably go a little more detailed than I normally have been the last couple of meetings, but in the area of recruitment and retention, I sent an email out today to everybody. I'm not sure if we had a chance to look at it. It was just late this afternoon, but
I read it.
as you read, we have a successful candidate that was actually hired and signed his contract, and everything's good, and very qualified, good extensive operational background and experience, and lots of good references as far as, you know, mentoring, working with the officers and investigations and stuff. So I think we actually had quite a few good candidates, so it was a nice competition to run, and it was a bit of a tough decision in the end to actually pick. But I think we got, you know, somebody who's in a lot of ways the best fit. But like I said, it was nice to have the problem of actually having too many good candidates for a change. So that was nice. Talks continue with 3 experienced officers, 2 from Alberta and 1 from BC. So 2 of the 3 interviews have been completed, and I'd say fairly positive results on those. So we're moving into the background stage, and then the 3rd officer's interview is scheduled for the coming week. He just is actually deployed at FIFA helping with that, so just wasn't available for interviews. We have a new deputy chief, as some of you may have heard, and you've seen.
Nice white shirt, man.
The records and disclosure position continues to be a bit of a challenge to fill. We're working on some other avenues, and maybe to try and attract some additional candidates. We had some really good candidates, but for various reasons they withdrew after the first round of interviews and job offers. So that's a bit of one of the gap sort of areas that's been identified in the department, and just that admin support and some cross training and support of people who we have a number of fairly technical, high skill type jobs in the department that there's only one person in. So very difficult for them to get, you know, unfettered time off or be away, and it's a risk for the department because a lot of the stuff they deal with is time sensitive. So we've been managing, but it's not the best case scenario, and in the event that somebody is away for a lengthy period, it can cause some significant damages or issues for us to try to work through. So we keep trying to keep that a priority and get somebody hired in those positions. So we're working on it, and we do have sort of backup plans if the case should be that we find ourselves in that situation, but we would avoid that if possible. In relation to inclusivity and community engagement, we've sent out a number of the community letters to different stakeholders and potential partners to determine needs, potential meeting opportunities, discuss various interests, concerns of groups, and opportunities to partnership, or maybe some areas they would just like some presentations given, or whatever the case may be. So to date, we've had quite a few interested parties reply, and we're just in the process of setting up those initial meetings, maybe to discuss, you know, kind of what they're looking for, how we can work together to support them. Roughly how many we're up to now?
Half a dozen.
Yeah. So I think they haven't been out that long, so I think it's been a pretty good uptake in a short period of time. So that's kind of exciting. June has been a very busy month, both operationally, but also for just community events and different things going on. I think it's that, you know, the weather's nice and people are planning to do things, but trying to get them done before everybody's away at summer too. So done a number of events, including the CSOs, the inspector, now the deputy, has been attending it's quite regularly with Howie and so forth. The deputy and I attended the Nelson Search and Rescue Open House a couple of weeks back, where we presented certificates of appreciation for Nelson Search and Rescue, Purcell helicopters, and high terrain helicopters. Myself and Constable Zukowski attended the Royal Canadian Legion ceremony down at the Cenotaph. Mayor was there as well, and a number of other people. That was to unveil some plaques honoring veterans of the Gulf and Afghanistan wars. It was actually quite a nice ceremony, and some nice speeches with a couple of veterans from Afghanistan that spoke. So that was nice that they were able to be there and speak. The name, the NPD mascot, Osprey, was another contest we had that kids could enter. So as many people have seen on our social media sites, the Osprey is now named Officer Howie, and the backstory is there if anybody's here or listening wants to kind of read it. So that was a nice, a nice event, but a nice backstory as to the reasoning behind the naming of the mascot. And then of course Canada Day, myself, the deputy, a couple other officers, CSOs, attended with other emergency services and dignitaries. Again, I don't know how long you stayed down there, but it's super nice weather for the ceremony. It was almost perfect.
Got to the cake. That's all we had to do, Karen. We got through the cake.
I was leaving.
It's funny because I was thinking of that after. I'm like, I wonder how that cake, because as I was pulling out of the office, it just started pouring.
No, the cake was gone and we cleaned it up
Yeah,
and it started.
yeah.
Okay, and that kind of dovetails into the communication and community outreach. So we're still working on the communication plan, which I still think is just kind of a formality, but the department continues to do significant amounts of media releases, social media, community advisories, as well as attending numerous public events. Our feedback has been very positive the last while, and I think it's had a positive effect because for whatever reason, and I think it correlates, the negative comments that we seem to be getting quite a lot of earlier on have really started to taper off, and even some of the negative comments are getting a lot of pushback from other people in social media saying, hey, this is a great thing, or the police are doing a good job and stuff. So I think it's just overall been really nice and really nice to see. Facilities, we had the presentation by the city to the police department, the library, the police board, and the library board back on June 11th. I think most of you were at that, so I won't get too much into it, but I think it was kind of good just to see a good overall assessment of where the pressures are across the entire city and all the facilities and buildings, because obviously, everybody would like a new building or upgrades to their building and stuff, but realistically, we've got to be cognizant of the costs and the higher priority needs where they are. We're certainly doing what we can within the building, and as I think most of you knew, this past 2 days of chaos, we've moved some offices around and moved the management team up to the second floor and some smaller offices. So some of the offices that had more space can be repurposed and used for, my office is being changed into the GIS office, which can accommodate 3 workstations, possibly 4. So I think that's good, and I think it'll be a good setup in there. And with the new inspector coming, who will have the office right next door to it, I think it's going to be work really well. Innovations. So I have in my report that tentatively the online reporting was going to go live on July the 7th, which was yesterday. So I'm happy to report after lots of testing and checking and making sure everything was aligned. They went live yesterday and it seems to be up and running well. So the social media and public awareness piece has started as well. The CSOs are kind of taking the lead on that, getting the public awareness out there that certain types of non-violent and lower level property crimes can report it online. So it saves people having to come in or phone and spend much time. They can report it and get a file number, and then those still are being reviewed by our senior members and NCOs to make sure that there's nothing else that needs to be followed up on or whatever. But if they do, they'll reach out to the complainant or victim and follow up with them and set up a time to take a statement or get some more information as needed.
Sorry, so when you say that, I was like my bike got stolen,
Yeah.
and I would report that there, and then so somebody is looking, someone will be looking at those.
Yeah, they still have to. It's just like if you phone in and the file,
If I need
dispatcher generates a file.
Yeah.
It's almost the exact same thing. You're just doing it from home yourself.
Okay.
But then it still goes to the next level where an officer and a supervisor have to review it and just make sure
Okay.
and And there's, it's set up where there's some questions too, whether you want to follow up or a call or.
Okay, I think that was
things
my
done. So,
thing. That was what my
Yeah.
question was like, how, who
It's not
follows
like
up
just-
on those?
you
Yeah,
just report something and get a file number and nobody ever sees it. It still has to go through the proper process and clearance and then a review by supervisor. Files actually included.
So do we have to do any additional work to make sure that people don't think that they can, in the middle of a crisis, type in and think they're gonna get an immediate response?
There's only specific crimes that you can report. There's a checklist that you go through. It's,
Oh, okay.
yeah, it's all
Okay.
mostly property crime.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, like the bike,
progress.
I get all that. I'm just like, well, hopefully that's something that isn't like locked in the bathroom and something's going on in their house and they're like sending an email thinking that that's gonna get a sort of like
No,
911
they have to
rapid
go
response.
through the list.
Emergencies are still emergencies.
Yeah.
And we did have our first online report about an hour ago for
Oh,
property files, so.
Cool. That is kind of exciting.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's something the public has actually been asking for a while. It's available in other areas and it's been something on our list to try and get implemented for 2 or 3 years now. So it's,
I think it's awesome.
it's nice.
Because
to
there's many
finally
times
get-
where I just like don't want to bother anybody, but here's the deal.
Yeah,
Somebody gets phone
That's
back.
the easy way to do it.
I can now get Mike on for that instead of him sending me emails and pictures.
We'll set him up his own folder.
Yeah.
Delete it.
So that was kind of part 2 of it's with the same software and company that did our online criminal records checks.
Yeah.
Which I think, natural time of the year, they've slowed down, but they've slowed down at the front counter as well, just because time of year, I think. But that's been, we've had a lot of uptake with the online criminal record check, and it's been a good thing. Like, it's so nice. People aren't having to find parking and walking here and then coming in twice to drop it off and then pick it up and all that. So I haven't heard any negative feedback about it yet. So it's a great thing. Great. It's been great for the department too.
You can still do it in person if you want to, the criminal record check, but you just said at the front counter. Never mind, I was listening, I swear.
Yeah, it's still available. It's just, and certainly people who don't like doing that stuff online or putting their information in, perfectly welcome to still come to the front counter. It's just, but it's much more convenient to do it home, and you can do it 24/7.
Yeah, totally.
Our automated license plate reader system continuing to move forward with, is that in place yet? The actual upload?
The upload person's on holiday, so we're just waiting for him to return. So it should be within the next couple of weeks.
So just a quick recap on that. They're the cameras you see on some of the vehicles, but it automatically reads the license plates, and then there's a database that's updated regularly that, doesn't just check. I mean, obviously it checks whether your car is current for registration, insurance, and that stuff, but it can also flag you if you're a prohibited driver is associated to that vehicle, other driving offenses. But I think even more importantly, it's connected to the Amber Alert system and to different criminal, like people who are on CPIC for warrants and things like that the police are looking for. So it's a great investigative tool, and it can process hundreds, if not thousands of plates.
It's just flying, it's just running while you're driving, kind of thing, yeah.
Yeah. And it just alerts you if it has a hit.
Yeah, just
You can set it sort of for the range of seriousness you want to be looking for that day while you're out. So, and again, just to throw this in there, but I do think it was a great innovation for the department, but the whole idea with probably keep referring to him as the inspector half the time until I get used to it, but he was the inspector at the time, initiated the whole mascot thing, and just in the short amount of time that Howie, the mascot, has been out and about, it was amazing watching at Canada Day how much, positive interactions there were, and, mostly with kids, but lots of adults too, really were attracted to them. And then people would come to see the mascot, and then we'd end up getting a chance to talk to him and stuff too. So I think it's a great innovation as far as community policing and communication with the community and encouraging people to come over and talk. So you probably found the same thing at the market today.
And so I just like, so who was in that today at the market?
Oh no, the costume is alive and real. Right?
I've been sort of thinking like, you know, I don't know what's in the budget, but I was at the market today for about 4 minutes. And that was probably 3.5 minutes longer than I wanted to be there in terms of the temperature. And do we have little portable fans for inside of that help cool? I do know that Allie was giving frozen, I think, water bottles to whoever was inside of it. But
Yes, there is a fan in the.
Oh,
in the
okay,
head.
thank
and
you.
then we just talked about it today, getting a Camelback and then freezing it. And so
Yeah.
then as it
Great idea.
thaws, then the
Yeah.
person can drink as well. So
Yeah.
That's what we're
Yeah,
gonna be moving
so
towards
underneath
that
the,
too.
okay, so that's, thank
We
you,
put
you've
our
answered,
mind
because that
to it
was
too.
like, that is really, I mean, it's lovely that they're out there, but we also don't need, Howie, I've known Howie for a long time, so I have seen Howie fall over, but I don't want to see Howie the Osprey fall over.
Okay, and the last thing, and I think obviously a very important thing, under BC provincial policing standards, we're required to do a biannual case review of the sexual assault investigations that the department has. So that review committee sat on June 26th. The deputy was part of that committee. The report's attached for your reference, but overall the review was positive and the consensus was that the investigations were thorough and complete. No files were identified specifically as needing follow-up or additional investigation. But, you know, as to the point of doing the review, some areas were identified where there could be improvements going forward by implementing some best practices or minor policy updates that could be made to improve the investigations. And Deputy Chief is overseeing that those updates in our policy and stuff. And any directives that may have come out of it are done and put in place in a timely fashion. And I should have mentioned this at the beginning, but there was a couple of civilians on the committee too from who have a background or KSAs in that area, so that there's some civilian involvement and, you know, so we can get their perspective on any areas they think maybe we could be doing things better or differently.
Just had to look up an acronym. It's KSA.
Knowledge, skills, and ability.
Thank you. I didn't know.
KPIs and KSAs, they all get, the ones
I
that
knew
start K are
GIS, I was
always,
pretty proud.
yeah. The,
I noticed three of my reports today are heavy on the acronyms, unfortunately, but it was space. So my last report, I made sure there was a legend at the bottom of the acronyms.
So there's one in here, so.
so just in terms of this report, and thank you for, I'm actually, this is a very good report to know that we are looking at this as a category of crime and things that are going on. The numbers, we're doing a good job of handling them, but I'm kind of curious as to the numbers, because when I'm just reading sort of more holistically about domestic violence, that it seems to be on an uptick nationwide. And I'm just wondering where Nelson sits on a year-over-year basis of the numbers. Are we seeing more reporting, or are we, I don't hope it's going down, but are we kind of at a certain level?
You're talking about domestic violence, so as opposed to sexual assaults?
Well, in the whole milieu, I mean, I kind of think of those things as kind of together.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, I think we're, without having the numbers right offhand here, I think we're probably more or less trending the same as the rest of the country. Whether that's occurring more, which I don't have anything specifically factually necessary to back this up, but my sense is that it's more that it's being reported more. The awareness is there, and even, you know, there's a number of things that I think have pushed that narrative that not only the victims need to report it, but friends, family, and co-workers, as to the program our VSU unit was, you know, developed and put out there, that that awareness is there and giving some sort of options or things that people can do to support and help the victim deal with that and potentially come forward to police and get the assistance that they need. So, you know, I think, again, it's a terrible thing. I do think that it's unfortunately not going down in occurrence, but I do feel like there's a little more awareness and a little more confidence in people coming forward to the police to get it. There's definitely some challenges there you see in the news. The sort of one-offs that unfortunately take a very tragic turn, and we have to keep fighting with that to convince people that they're safe to come forward.
Just pertaining specifically to the sexual assaults, because a lot of those can occur after nights out or parties or whatever. Do you feel that there's any impact of, and I'm going to be at a loss for Kevin, do you know, they wear the pink shirts,
Oh, the consent team.
the consent team?
Yeah.
Do you ever, do police ever interact with the consent team? Is the consent team ever engaging with you on the street at night, or so it's a group that we have here in Nelson that tries to give advice or direct people in the right directions, or as one of the lovely women on the team said, yeah, and sometimes we're just in the women's bathroom holding the girl's head up while she's throwing up. I mean, like, that's the unfortunate nature sometimes of what goes on when youth are out having a good time. And I'm just wondering, like, is there an impact of that group on the street, like in terms of helping or at least advising that maybe they need to be engaging with reporting something or whatever? Do you have is there any interrelationship there?
I don't know. I met them, I think it was at the night market. I think their goal was to try to prevent it from getting to us. So I don't know if there's any actual interaction
Okay.
between the two. So their goal was to essentially eliminate us from having to deal with it by
Yes.
stopping it
Right,
before it
yeah.
happened.
So
Getting
courthouse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know if there's a lot of interaction. I never heard any of the members talk about it. So
Okay.
I'm not quite sure.
Okay. It's just a curious question for me. I'm just curious how that work. I mean, I have supported that group and given them other places that they can go to look at fundraising, and I know they're here and they want to be part of the community. And I think it's always, when it's peer to peer, it's always a little bit better, and keep the police out. But it's also hard to measure the effectiveness. Like sometimes we're always trying to figure out what's the metric, and sometimes you can't measure this stuff. Anyways, thank you for that. Sorry, Dan.
I got one quick question, if you're done. The community outreach letter, can I see a copy of that and who it went to? Yeah, just wondering who stakeholders are.
Big long one.
The letter?
No, our
the
list
list,
of,
yeah.
Yeah, really huge. Yeah.
But I also think there's probably people
That we
could
didn't.
add, because we've asked a few times, and it's like every time you talk to somebody, it's like, did you send them? So we're like, oh, no, we didn't. So we add people. So anybody you suggest certainly can add them to the list.
Or maybe it's so big that it's hard.
It just needs to be a shortcut, an email shortcut, right? Community engagement.
Well, the only thing is we just need to make the big long list, and then the communications team can figure out what the grouping is.
Yeah.
Right? Making sure that we have everybody.
I thought was we just, that was almost the easiest way to reach the mass audience, get out to as many people as we like, and then it's kind of the balls in their court. But so if they want to A, get back to us, and B, kind of what they want that interaction or it's an ongoing working relationship, what they want to look like. I don't want to open the door, but it's up to them how far they come in.
The stakeholder of the police department is everybody, right? Like, it's weird.
Yeah, it feels the list is quite
It's
substantial.
awesome.
Yeah.
Don't have to attach emails to it.
Does anyone have any other questions for the chief? Can I get a mover that the Nelson Police Board approves the chief's constable report as presented? Seconded. Devin, second. Blair, all in favor? Motion passed. I crossed out inspector, but it's a DC report.
It is now.
Yeah.
Thank you. The YPAC is the Youth Prevention and Community Trust Constable. It's funded by the Federal Gun and Gang Violence Action Fund administered through the province of BC. She's been doing a great job. That's Constable Schminke. She's had several meetings with partners in the community. She's had several files go through restorative justice, with one being mischief at the skate park that went through extrajudicial measures with them cleaning up for a day and removing graffiti. She investigated a criminal code impaired driver. She's had two NPD tours with the schoolhouse and an impromptu one with the library camp. Came up one day impromptu. She's done copy of the cop at the Wednesday Market. She's processed several files, including an assault with two youths that went through restorative justice. She also assisted with field training our newest recruit that's in Block 2 right now. And she conducted school enforcement 12 times during the month of June.
Can you tell me what school enforcement is, please?
So doing speed enforcement.
Oh,
okay.
so people in
In a
cars,
school
okay.
zone.
How about, but not school enforcement for
No
the
speeds.
14-year-olds that are speeding,
No,
the cars?
for cars that are speeding. Our community safety officers, now we have two funded through Federal Government Canada Summer Grant. They conducted 29 files, including property with the first online reporting call. They did 15 CCTV canvases with 24 hours of foot patrol. They were heavily involved with our NHL Street program, which ran for 4 weeks. They've been taking over coffee with a cop at the Wednesday Market, which I think has been a success, including the mascot for 2 of the 4 weeks. They helped with patrol during the FIFA festivities at Lakeside Park. They also helped with cap and gown and the Grand Cavalcade. And they were crucial in the public engagement naming the mascot.
They did a great presentation at the Chamber of Commerce board meeting.
Oh, good. That's good to hear.
Yeah.
Amazing. That was on the business registry?
Yes.
Yes. Thank you.
Just a question about the funding, actually. I didn't realize that it was summer jobs grants, which is 8 weeks, right?
Yes.
And is the funding then just coming out of the budget? Like, what's the plan after 8 weeks?
So one of them's only been hired temporarily for the summer.
Okay.
And then one of the CSOs will be transitioning into recruit
We're
training.
losing another one.
Okay.
There's another one.
It's what did
The stepping stone.
it's like a very long interview.
The farm team.
Totally. Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Victim Services has had 42 new clients within the past month, 13 different file types ranging from domestic violence to Wildlife Act. They had a call out for a house fire where they collaborated with our YPAC member and got community partners involved. They also worked with Crown to support 4 youth victims with remote link to participating in a sentencing of the accused. One Victim Services member is taking a course in child court preparation, and another one just completed a human trafficking course presented through Sky.
I'll say, I've been applying to Victim Services for the past couple of years, and I've got nothing but amazing things to say about them. Like, you're absolutely great. Yeah.
I'll pass it on. Thanks.
And who is Sky?
I have the acronym above it. It is Safe Kids and Youth.
Yeah, kids. Okay, thank you.
Through like the coop or whatever. The cooping. Like Foundry, and they're all part of that
okay,
coop
yeah.
or whatever.
Okay.
The
Well, that's what
co-op
Foundry
collective.
is.
Yeah.
I still
Oh,
can't pronounce it. She's on mat leave right now, but yeah, the coop.
Restorative Justice, 3 files went through Restorative Justice. I think those were the ones through the YPAC position. And communication has been sent out to Crown Council requesting RJ engagement on potential files. Operationally, last month, so the month of June 2026, we had 589 calls compared to 477 calls the year before. 2026, we had 12 charges, including arson, impaired driving, fraud, utter threats, assault with a weapon, assault police, and theft, compared to 8 in 2025. File of note, on June 11th, 2026, a female tenant address in Nelson ended up throwing incendiary devices, Molotov cocktails, caused a hitting a victim, causing significant burns. She was arrested and charged and held in custody, charged with aggravated assault, 2 counts of arson, disregard for human life, disguise with intent, and arson by negligence.
Is that the fire that they were talking about above?
In the 300 block of Vernon.
The General Factory.
Oh, okay.
And then on June 30th, a male was riding a skateboard. A male who he knew, he went to high five him, and instead of a high five, he proceeded to stab him twice. After lengthy search, they located the suspect at his residence, and he was arrested without issue, and he was been held in custody, charged with aggravated assault. And then there's traffic statistics with this last month compared to 2025 for the same month. So 1 24-hour driving prohibition was 0 in 2025. 1 impaired driving refused reprimand compared to 0 in 2025. 4 90-day IRPs compared to 0 in 2025. 23 violation tickets compared to 11, and 15 traffic warnings compared to 1.
Is that just because there's more presence?
Last June, we had a bit of a staffing
Okay,
crisis,
yeah.
so we're in a better position now with our junior members being more experienced, another year on the road. So now they're better able to handle the call volume and get out and do proactive
Okay.
patrols.
So in terms of violation tickets and warnings, those are lights not working.
Yeah, speeding, cell phones,
So, okay. all
and
those.
anything under the Motor Vehicle Act.
Okay.
And then Health IM is attached for your review.
And how are people feeling about that?
I think it's good. It's positive because now they don't have to write up the file. Now the Health IM app transfers over their report into our database, so it's now a one-time deal. So I think the members are looking at it a little bit better now. And I think it has reduced wait times. We're not at the hospital as much, which is good,
Well, it looks like 44 minutes. I mean, this looks.
which is fantastic.
Yeah. We were counting it in hours before, so it's a significant increase. And I haven't heard any more back on there was the privacy issues they were trying to just clean up before we had that interface with the provincial mental health unit as well, that because then they could get the report and then do follow-ups the following day or whatever. So it's still kind of, as far as I'm aware, it's still moving forward and potentially going to happen. It's just, I think they're still dealing with the privacy concerns piece.
Right. Just that when I meet with Interior Health, I like to look at this dashboard and see, because I still think the hospital needs to have security, which it's off on having for years, but I still think that's something that we need at the hospital for safety in general. But when I see these numbers, and at least we're getting police out of there a little bit faster, it's a good report for me to have when I'm
It's
talking.
still, I'm sorry, I just want to answer that, because there's still a number of other areas though where police resources are tied up at the hospital, not necessarily with mental health, although sometimes it's with mental health, but they're prisoners that we have in custody that,
Need to go there, and then you have to
treatment or
stay,
staying in the hospital, and we're there for hours, and then recently we were there for days. We had to have somebody there 24/7 for 4 days.
3 or 4 days.
Yeah,
Like
thankfully
that's,
those are few and far between,
that's
but I have.
50% of our shift is taken off the street for, so. And we can, we do get some reimbursement for overtime, which is nice, but that's not the bigger problem. The bigger problem is the shortage of resources, and it's difficult with a small department. People are already working quite a bit. It's hard to get them to come in for overtime. So it creates some challenges.
A question about time of day. Like, does this Health IM, because I know we're talking about like working with the public health, mental health nurse. I'd be really curious to see if there is like a time of day that's more frequent. I'm not seeing it.
I
It got
asked that,
brought
I
up,
asked
yeah.
that last time.
I looked, I couldn't find any more data. All the data I could find was this. Yeah, that was brought up last time. I couldn't
Yeah,
remember.
because I was
that.
curious too.
That's
like,
right,
is it
that's
always
right.
At night? Is
I
it
couldn't
Yeah.
find the
morning?
data. I would say it's more random. I don't think there's any.
I would actually like maybe even ask you to reach out and find out, like ask them for that report. That they should be able to provide that kind of, like that's a report that should be easily
But I think we could pull that from our stats.
Yeah,
From
but,
files, we could.
but,
Yeah.
but,
And I-
you know, like,
I've looked at it from
Yeah.
our stats before in previous years, because I've been asked that before too, and
Yeah.
it's not what you would think. Like, I always thought, it's gonna be weekends and nights, and it is pretty evenly spread across the board, but probably more so weekdays during the day.
isn't
Yeah.
that really interesting? Well, that would be a really interesting.
We'll look again, because I mean, that could have changed. It's been a couple of years since.
Yeah,
I
As a
totally.
person that lives by the hospital and watches the
Yeah.
police cars go by, I would say there's a lot of activity where police are going to the hospital in the middle of the day.
Well, which makes sense because there's more people out who are reporting things, right? You know what I mean? Like that actually makes a lot of sense. Like someone's having a crisis in the middle of the night, but nobody sees it. They're not calling the police to have a call. But it'd be curious, especially if we're going to do this pilot project, like, if it is that we're seeing an increase in the evenings or at night, like, where do we put our resources? Like, so, but that should be a report that this kind of app should be able to provide. Like, and if it isn't one, you should call us to create it. Like, it shouldn't be hard to have a report with what time of day calls are coming in. That's funny. I was looking through that today. I was like, I wonder.
So, not to do with chicken and egg or even with like the domestic things. It's not always has the actual incidents changed, but it's awareness and who's seeing and reporting it and when that's happening. So I think there's a lot of what you said is probably accurate, is that just more people around and out and about and seeing when people are in crisis and calling the police, whereas 2 a.m. on Baker even, or in an alley or wherever, like, nobody's necessarily around to see it, and it probably doesn't get reported till 9, 10 o'clock the next day when the person's still in crisis, but now people are seeing it.
Yeah.
Thank you, Deputy.
Thank you.
I get a move for the resolution that we approve the DC's report as presented. Karen, seconder, Devin, all in favor? Motion pass. Nothing to report financially. Onto the board committees. On my finance committee hat. Just continue. Devin and I are kind of working on the board's budget itself. I just sent it to him, so said you would look at it before he.
Yeah, I looked at it today and
Yeah, no
just need a
rush.
minute to think about what my thing is.
That's really about it. Governance, policy, and risk management. There is no one here on the board anymore, but there was the dashboard format that's in the package. I don't know if anyone had any comments. I think
that was the one, it was community engagement. We thought it looked good, and then
Yeah.
we went to governance to have another look at it. I think it's great.
so. I think if anyone else, I think if we're good, we're good.
Yeah, I mean, like your committee, that committee has met, like we've met as communications, and
Yeah,
we think we got the one bug out that didn't make any sense that nobody could interpret, and so.
and I think if the public has feedback.
Yeah, kind of as we've said,
Exactly.
it's easy to tweak and update, and if there's something not in there that people want to see, we'll definitely add it in. So.
I stand corrected. There is time of day on the app.
All right.
There is time of day.
Cool.
And they're basically, I can show it to you afterwards.
Yeah, yeah.
That's all
Yeah,
during.
during the day. Thanks.
For HR, there's nothing really. I think we'll be discussing this at the doubling camera, so there's not. I don't think there's anything there for now. On to community engagement, outreach, and communication.
I met with Shiloh after the last board meeting, and we went through all of the suggested changes to the policy from the community groups that we reached out to. So Shiloh put that all together. It's attached here. And then we also, one of the comments, or a couple of comments, was that it would be great. It's a big, long, wordy policy that's a little bit hard to understand. So could there be sort of a one-page cheat sheet that explained it in a little bit simpler terms? with, you know, it mentioning that for the full policy, you could, you know, look here. But those are both attached and we just need to approve them.
Do you have a comms person here, like from the city that looks over? Hey, I know we're all good at stuff, but like putting together a one pager out of the big thing.
Oh, we actually use AI and
Oh, yeah.
with just a little one page. So, which definitely could be changed or amended, but
You don't use the city comms person.
Yeah.
So police have their own comms. Police Shiloh, the chief.
Yeah, they're like whatever, yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, we, the city kind of collaborates on like particularly really impactful posts. We also then like, what is, like, I don't do social media, like, but we put it out there, but it's not, we don't own it, the city.
Yeah, okay, so it's just because, so I want to know. So the post, social media post, whatever, like totally whatever that's like, but like, is this, I don't even know what this is, but this seems like a policy that you want to put into one page. And then that's going to go to all these massive stakeholders. I just, like that, having not, like just having AI look at it,
yeah. So I think
the best.
my understanding is it would be if someone came in or wanted to know how they could complain about
Gotcha.
the service policy.
Yeah, that's right. So anybody in the community can put a complaint through to the OPCC against a police officer or against a policy that the police department or the board has. And so that is just a quick sort of synopsis of how to do it. But that being said, I can float it out to Stephanie at the city and just get a second pair of eyes on it. Easy to do. She's more than willing to help out with that sort of thing.
Yeah, but like if it's already gone through, it's probably like in 30s, like whatever, 10 upload, but maybe worth it.
Yeah, that's easy for me to
Okay,
do.
Yeah, because the concern from the public engagement was that it's really lengthy, and because it's a policy that requires
Absolutely.
A, B, C, D.
Yeah.
And then when we met as a group, we decided that maybe if there was some, like, here's like the snapshot, like it's not that you can get away with the snapshot, you need to still do the whole policy, but just for people to be able to understand it a little bit better.
Nobody's reading more than 3 paragraphs.
No, and this is long and wordy and.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, there's,
I mean, and we went over it a few times here,
yeah,
the policy.
Yes, and then it went out to community groups for their feedback, and then we've come back, made those changes. So now we have to approve the changes that were made in the original.
I have 2 things about the summary,
Okay.
which if we decide to look at it again. Just under this, like what this process is for. So note it does not cover complaints about, maybe making it clear that that's also through the OPCC, like that, like it doesn't make clear that you can still make those kind of reports at the front desk, or you can contact the OPCC. I would just make that a little more clear, like it feels like it's like something totally different, but really, if you want to make a complaint about an officer, or you want to make a complaint about the policy, you're doing both of those. You can do both of those at the front desk, or you can do them online. And the other one is the word trivial. Under 4, the last bullet point, dismiss the complaint if it's minor, trivial, or if the problem has already been fixed. Nobody makes a complaint that thinks it's trivial. So I would.
That's the OPCC's wording though, I believe, so.
Then that can be buried deep in the policy.
And there were a few changes with wording, and when we went back and looked, it actually has to be, it was in the police act, but that's
Okay.
the wording that had to be used.
Okay.
I'm not sure about the truth.
Yeah. Anyway, I just like when I read that, if I were like a member of the public and I had just gotten this little one pager to explain how I do a complaint, I would be.
This is our one pager, so we kind of own it.
Yeah.
So I think we can take trivial out.
Yeah.
Now, if trivial needs to be in the
In the actual,
policy, then that's fine if that's driven by
Yeah.
police act and the, whatever, but, because this is our,
Yeah.
our system that
So
can just read, yeah,
anyway, those are my
minor,
two
or the
things.
problem has already been fixed.
Just, I don't know, trivial, I would be not, like, did they think my complaint was trivial? That was why it was dismissed? Like, it's, no one makes a complaint that they think is trivial. Whether
That is the wording in the actual policy.
Yeah.
Trivial, frivolous, vexatious, or not in good faith.
That probably comes right out of the code.
But yes, we
So,
definitely.
anyway, on the one pager, it's, I don't know, there, so. Yeah. That's all I got.
So maybe we should break it up into two, so the policy, approving the policy, and then maybe we play around with the summary sheet. Yeah.
Good. I think it a motion that we approve just the policy section for now. Yeah, second, all in favor? Motion pass. No update on the BCA PB. Policy review, no regulatory updates. Good. Put in that the annual bring forward calendar, the board committee, just kind of to make people aware of kind of where we're sitting. Skeleton crew or even less. I don't know if we have to, hopefully we get some new board members to kind of fill it in, but yeah, with Devin leaving as well, or taking a temporary leave potentially. Just to kind of have a thing, because we'll have to keep an eye on, that's why the calendar stuff is there, kind of all our requirements of each committee. If anyone had any thoughts.
Around the forward calendar?
Sure. Or, yeah.
I was curious when I was looking at this today, under the reporting requirements though. So these ones that are like, the board must report on like the annual recruit and advanced training experienced applicants report. If like this is kind of the first, I mean, I suppose we saw it last month, but like, is this something that you're submitting? Or is this something that we should be talking about and submitting?
Well, I think that's kind of up to the board how they want to do it necessarily, but I think, and I guess I'm just going to say it, I think I look at a lot of these things that the board has to report on or submit reports on, and it's us, Shiloh, and me and the deputy that are probably going to be doing most of the work to put it together, and then you would probably review it, see if there's any questions or things like that, and then submit it. So,
Yeah.
It depends a bit on how you want the process to go. We can kind of work with whatever, but ultimately it's us that have the information that you need to submit the report. So,
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I just like, like training and recruitment, register within 30 days of the commencement of employment. It's our responsibility to the police academy. We're supposed to be reporting to the police academy about like employment training. Yeah, anyway. So I suppose we don't have to have that conversation right now. That could be a conversation that's how we decide to do that. I just was like, oh, I've not seen this stuff before. So
yeah. I feel like I
We get
shouldn't say I haven't seen it before either, but it's stuff that's not, it's just all of a sudden this stuff is all percolated up.
Yeah.
That now it's required. I mean,
Yeah.
we do our due diligence. We know what the requirements are. We have to hire exempt officers and that training piece and stuff, and we do it.
Yeah.
Like I have no problem sitting here saying we're in compliance with everything that's required. It's just, has it ever been formally reported to anybody? No.
yeah, and I mean, some of it feels like operational. Like, anyway.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, why would we know what we don't hire the officers, you do. So I don't understand why we would know about like the training requirements or the training like that has been received by officers, because we're not, like, we hire you.
I mean, yeah, the training records, there's a extensive background, extensive like conduct discipline background done. We identify with, compared to what the policing standards are for what you need to be considered an exempt officer to come and work in this province if they're from out of province. All those things are done and they're all on their personnel file. So it's all checked and recorded and saved for future reference if needed. So, I don't think it's not a significant undertaking to do the report. I mean, we don't hire that many officers and we have all the information already. So
Yeah.
we kind of figure out kind of how detailed that report is going to be. And
Yeah. So yes, I mean, some of it's like the service and policy complaints policy. Complaints policy. Okay, I did read that right. So like we've just done that. Awesome. But yeah, some of this I'm like, I don't understand how we would even begin to look at that because it's like not even within our purview. So okay. Like this one here.
No, I have a question just about so this police act regarding the one that's there as required reporting requirements, section 173.1. Where's the list? Where's the column that says that we've done this for 2026? This is the police act one. Service and policy complaints policy. The board must review the policy, amend, record, and seek community input where required every 4 years.
We legit
Well, we
just
just
passed that.
But so no. So does it come off, or where is the column? I'm asking, where's the column that says
the
we've
form.
done
Now
it?
we have to do it in 2030.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but
where
where's
is the
the-
column that
where's
says
the
it's been done?
last
Because
time
that's
it was done?
that's not a. It's done. Like, does it come off the
check
list?
mark complete.
Yeah. Like, do we
Yeah,
have
yeah,
a-
with the date or whatever.
And for annual ones, could we add them to this calendar? So then they're,
I think that's a great idea, right? I think that's kind of.
we're required to do it, yeah.
Yeah.
Or we just somehow make another column that says completed September of 2026.
Yeah.
And we were talking the last day or two, just obviously given the situation that the board, to the chair's comments, operating on some pretty skeleton crews on some of the committees and stuff, that we're trying to be proactive in looking at what's coming up and making sure the stuff's all there and kind of, wrapped in a bow for the board to look at, because what's, the workload has increased significantly, just being fewer board members, and I foresee there being a lot of new board members in the next 6 months. So, to get through this year, and then we can revisit how we did it this year and maybe want to tweak it for next year.
Thank you.
The next item is the OPCC systematic investigation regarding sexualized conduct in the police workplaces. Jake, do you want to?
Yeah, that's just kind of gotten underway. I don't have a ton to share at this point, but because it's been more the terms of reference and sort of the information as to, what the objective of it is and kind of the methodology of it. Essentially, they're looking at whether there's systemic issues across the broad policing universe, and that's to do with hiring, training, promotions, how complaints are dealt with, what kind of safeguards are in place for people that make complaints, those types of things. So they provided a list of some of the information to each department that they wanted, and we're working on gathering that. We have a liaison that's assigned to that to be the direct point of contact with the OPCC. So they are gathering that, and then they can reach out if we run into any issues with anything specific or have questions to clarify what it is exactly they want, things like that. So it's just it's really at the beginning stages, but I think we have a kind of an idea of where it's going, and it's I think we've got a system in place based on what the OPCC is doing with most of the other departments, as far as I'm aware.
So are you like, this has got quite a broad swath. Are you talking at your police chiefs meetings about this reporting and trying to look at a standardized way to do this reporting? Like, is this Is this ask, like some of the other asks that we've had over time,
Yeah.
being
it's-
looked at to standardize it? Obviously, huge departments have way more levels that they have to wade their way through in doing something like this, but
They also have more staff.
they have more staff, so.
Uh,
Or is
There's
the
been a
OPC
few
slowly
requests.
rolling out a framework for you to fill in?
I think they are. Like, I think it's, this is a whole new section of the OPCC that really, this is their first systemic investigation. So I think there's going to be some sort of redefining things as it goes. And yeah, so, I mean, I would say at this point, it's been pretty straightforward for what they've asked for and what we're doing. So we haven't had anything where we've kind of gone, hold on, like we need to maybe discuss this with the other departments and see what they're doing. That may come, but at this point, I don't see anything that's, we have to comply with it firstly, so we don't have a lot of choice. But secondly, it's been pretty straightforward, and I think for what they're trying to do or what the information they're trying to get to assess, requests seem reasonable. So.
And is there any thought that this is, this systemic review is a result of the class action that failed to get certified?
I don't think it's a result of that. I think this was being talked about and looked at prior to that even coming to light. I think that probably has been, another piece that they've used to push the systemic review, but I don't think that was the reason it was initiated.
Thank you.
Starting out here, did anyone have anything else they wanted to discuss?
I just want to recommend that we talk about consent agenda again. It just kind of fell off the agenda in January, and I really enjoyed the fact that we didn't have to approve the first 4 things on the agenda. Anyway, I don't know how everybody else feels about it, but I really like the consent agenda. It just disappeared without much conversation, so that's really what everybody else feels about. the
Were
consent
we
agenda.
were we in violation of some?
And it would be easy to go back to it.
I was just going to say,
It's easy. 100%.
What's consent agenda?
Things like the minutes and stuff like that. It's
You
stuff
don't
that's
have to vote on it.
regular business. And so what would happen is that you vote to pass the consent agenda. That's the one vote, but in there could be minutes or other correspondence, the agenda, and it just gets a block of work that is repetitive every meeting out. Beauty of consent agenda though, it's like, no, I want number 2 because I have a question. It gets pulled out and then everybody votes, okay, this has been taken out. Now you vote on the consent agenda as it stands. Then you go back, you make that discussion of whatever you pulled out of the consent agenda, and then you make a motion to pass that item of the consent agenda. That's how that works.
Make sure everybody reads the agenda first. If they have to pull something out before.
Yeah, well, it's actually like, it's kind of either like, sometimes people say, well, what about this? And then it's like, okay, well, you didn't read your package because that was in the consent agenda, but at the same time is that, then somebody that's read their agenda if they're pulling it out of consent, because then that they've gone through it all. But yeah, it just takes a couple of things off.
Yeah. Any motion for that? No. Okay. I think we're good.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thanks, everybody.
Read agenda.
You write that on your hand, Blair.
Because all the information is in there. It could be like just a normal financial update. It's like, like the finances look the same as they did last month, this month, like that could be in consent.
Okay. Anything else? Can I get a mover that pursuant to 69.2 of the Police Act, the Nelson Police Board continues this meeting in camera. Devin second. Karen, all in favor? Okay, motion pass. Another resolution that the next meeting is held on September 2nd, 2026 at 4:30 p.m. Then mover, please. Devin, Karen, second. Karen, all in favor?